Andrew and Sally Marshall. I'm the youth pastor for Heartland Church, Yarra, Glen, and we run Glen Youth Group on Friday nights. In 2013 we applied for a community grant from our local shire. Decided to run this one in particular because it was a long-term one where we could use it for the whole term, and you connect our youth with the community, not just use the money for our youth group as such. We contacted the men's shed about it. We just pointed out the fact that men are missing in our community to the men, and wanted to encourage them to not only just come along and say, oh, this is how you build something, but encourage them to build that relationship with the kids.
During we call it the construction phase, we'd have the men's shed during the week. They would be using their various skills in metalwork and woodwork to sort of construct the billy carts, and they'd sort of pre-bolt it all together, make sure that it all fits and everything, and then pull it all apart again, so that the kids could have an opportunity to learn how to use those tools, a screwdriver, spanner, bolts and nuts and things like that. Every Friday at youth group we had a section of time that was set aside for billy cart team time, which worked really well. Kids started to get really excited about getting onto their table so they could continue on their billy cart, and the kids would assemble parts of the cart, and as well they would come up with designs and paint boards and things like that so that they could own their cart, and it was their team's cart. So as kids got excited into it and the teams started building, our numbers started climbing as well during that time, so because people wanted their friends on their team for their billy carts, so yeah, it worked really well.
Because the kids hadn't actually pushed the billy carts around very much before, especially down at the racecourse, the racecourse was actually quite awesome. They've got tracks out the front where you just enter, and they're all asphalted and in a circular shape, which is quite convenient. And they were happy to let us just draw all over their track with chalk and peg things in and muddy up their lawn. They didn't care. We organised it that each team had a walk race where they all just kind of got a turn at pushing their cart around, and they could decide then who was best at driving and those kind of things. And then we just started up some heats with two teams racing each other. And then it was the big race time. We set up a barbecue. We got the local butcher to donate some meat for a barbecue down there. The kids were so excited, we told them to invite anyone you know. You invite your mum, your dad, your grandparents, anyone. Doesn't have to be related to you. So they invited the lollipop lady down to the actual day. We only have one school in Yarra Glen, but we've always been focused at reaching other schools in our community. And yeah, the project kind of came at a time when these new kids came from a different school, and it just was a perfect integration for them because they were working alongside kids that they'd never met before, but having the same aim meant they just fit in immediately. And they all discovered they were going to the same high school the next year anyway, so they were all pretty excited to actually know each other from different schools.
And as well, the fact that it was a long-term project meant that they didn't just come one week and then that was over. They could come back and they could be part of that same team again, and they could get a little bit further along in their design, in their design, painting and construction, which I think helped to encourage them back to maintain being a part of the community. And by the end of it, they're hooked and they're still here today. So looking to the future, as we run this event again and again, we hope that we just continue to see the same relationship building between different generations in the community, different groups in the community, and within the families themselves, even with the businesses in our community, just that everybody will band together to look after the youth in our town.